I put the
You are
people
and
first.
Just calling to say hello, love you, miss you.
There is more than enough
Hold
room.
on to who you are and what you believe in.
Listen,
I just want to talk to a human.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Where's Your Humanity? I'm your host, Gail Fraser, and I am so excited to be joined by our guest today, Cal from Words Hurt Copy. You are a former theater maker turned creative director, write brands that bite, identities that feel alive under the skin, messaging with vertebrae, and stories that refuse to sit quietly in the corner. I found you by your just ramblings, general unhinged fun energy on the internet, and knew I had to speak to you. So thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for inviting me on this pod.
I'm so excited.
Are we on video as well, by the way? I always
Yeah.
forget to ask. Oh,
Yeah,
amazing.
we are.
Slay. It's because I always have my little baby hands. Not always, like I'm in a baby hand era right now, so I just want to make sure that I can use them
Certainly.
correctly. Amazing.
Yeah. Well, Cal, I like to start with give us a little more. Who's Cal?
I like D&D, Audrey Hepburn, Fangoria, Harry Houdini, and croquet. That's a My Chemical Romance reference for all the emo listeners. I'm an emo kid who's like reconnecting with his emo kid after a long stint of trying to pretend like I wasn't still an emo kid. I do love D&D. I'm a giant geek. I love video games. I play World of Warcraft. I love Dungeons and Dragons, any role play stunt. I have 3 beautiful dogs who are my pride and my joy. I'm a theater kid. I come from the theater, and I'm also making a return to the theater this year, which is probably going to tie in really nicely to our conversation. I love horror. I'm a horror kid. Anything fantasy, sci-fi, right up my alley. I love a board game. I love a card game. And I love napping. I
Oh my
love
gosh,
to
me
take a fucking
too.
nap. So,
Nothing brings me more joy. I'm a good sleeper.
yeah,
If I'm
same.
stressed, some people stress. My husband, when he's stressed, can't sleep. Me,
I
sleep
can sleep
more.
better. Yes, me too. I'm like, oh my God, I'm stressed.
How
I'm
else
going to
am I
go lie
supposed
down
to
for a
avoid my
second.
responsibilities?
Yeah, exactly. Little procrastination nap. I love it. I always feel so much worse when I wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as someone with ADHD, I'm like, but now the deadline is sooner. And so the adrenaline is like a little bit higher.
Yes, hard relate. Very hard relate.
I'm so excited to chat. One of the things that you and I have both been rattling on about lately is this idea that in the era of AI slop and being extremely tired of seeing it and engaging with it and having to engage with the pro AI trolls of the internet that make me want to like claw my eyes out with a spoon. Just the idea that we're coming back to this era where we are really craving human connection and creativity and analog hobbies, just tangible things that we can do and create and make and bring joy into our own lives in this chaotic hellscape in which we live.
Save us from this hellscape. Do you know what is so funny about this is that for the longest time have had this thought. Like I can remember myself in high school learning like learning Renaissance art, learning art history and thinking to myself like why don't people do this anymore, or like why isn't this kind of the standard? I'm not like an art history major, so my knowledge and opinions about art in general are very superficial. I know there's other styles of art, but I just feel like with the rise of technology, I think art became so much easier to make and so much more accessible, which is fantastic, and became so much more widespread. But you know, like photography back in the day, like you have a set number of pictures that you can take. So those
Mhm.
you need to put a lot of thought before you press the button. And now we're like, five, five, five. So, have you seen those videos of those like Shein models that they do like 100 poses a minute? They just go like da, 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 da. It's amazing. If
Yeah.
you haven't seen it,
I
please
mean, yes.
watch this.
And also that's what it feels like to be a business owner creating those.
Yes. So that's like that's always something that's been on my mind. I think I've always had a fascination with like, let's call it big art, with big art. And I think naturally we've come to the end of the stick of the art becoming easily and accessible with AI, where it's literally like, here's a prompt and here's your artwork. So
Yeah.
it's this generation, this like of it generating, like the generation, not our generation, the generating of art has, I think, awakened in a lot of people, is especially, creatives, even though I believe everyone is a creative, whether they identify with the term or not. But I think people that are like artists, writers, sketchers, painters, musicians, I think there's been this effect from seeing how mediocre AI output is being venerated. Like, oh my
Mhm.
gosh, look at what AI made in 3 seconds. And this appreciation for the human touch, the commodity of the human touch that had been for these past couple of years, I feel dwindling,
Mhm.
is suddenly becoming a commodity again. Like people are talking about it. Like when even in our spaces of like business owners, like looking for social media manager. I don't want someone that uses AI, like willing to pay extra for human work. We're seeing this come around, and we're seeing this with the rise of the analog as well. I think the first instance that I caught on to analog was the analog bag trend, which is so funny because people were
Wait,
obviously
tell me
filming it
more.
and putting it on social media. Oh my God,
I'm
did you
not
not see
familiar
the
with this
analog
trend.
bag?
No.
Okay. So the analog bag is this like big tote bag full of analog things to do. So
Amazing.
you would pick what would go in your analog bag, like a little cross stitching things, a little magazine, and like scissors and glue to make a collage, paint, a book, crochet, whatever like crafty analog activities. You have this little analog bag. So people were packing analog bags and showing us in a very non-analog way what was
Of
in their
course.
what was in their analog bags. So I love that so much. And I think from there, I mean, I'm an analog kid. Like I come from the theater, and theater is very much analog. I always say I feel like theater is the antithesis of AI. Like
Yeah.
theater is the polar opposite of AI. So I love this so much. And I feel like we're getting to a point, I hope we're getting to a point in history where we are realizing slowly that we need more time offline. We need more time in in-person communities. We need more time with
Mhm.
other human beings. We need skin to skin contact, you
Yeah.
know? We need to like hug real people.
Yeah.
And I think this is having this effect
Mhm.
of us being in our generation or our times version of the renaissance of these creators being like, oh, you think that AI art is good? I will show you like what humans can do. I will show you what humans can make, because yes, technical, like AI art can be technically good in like a really polished way that back in the day we would have been like, oh my, like, if like a Renaissance painter saw this, they'd be like, oh my gosh, like the technique, the technicality of this is perfect because it's pulling on like, I don't know, exact human anatomy.
Right.
But it's only interesting if if a human pulled that off, not if it's being like, it's not, there's no feat there for me that it's being generated.
Yeah, and there's no soul to it.
Zero.
And I like the analogy that I've been seeing around of the idea of like running a marathon with a car. Like it's not impressive. It's just
It's
something that it's easy to go
why
26
did
miles
why did you do that?
in a car, but it's not impressive. Or like it doesn't come with, you think about like if you're a runner, I am not a runner.
I
Exercise
am
and
not a
me
runner.
are casually acquainted. I have a friend who does Ironmans. She did her second Ironman this year. So that's like you swim and you bike and you run, and it's like an extreme version of a triathlon.
Slay.
And she puts in so much work. She's like training 6 hours a day. She travels for work constantly and like is in the hotel gym, is in the hotel pool, is like doing her stuff. And I'm like, I have no interest in doing this. I would not want, many parts of her lifestyle do not appeal to me whatsoever. But it's so like she cares about it so much, and it's so impressive that she's like doing all of that and then can accomplish this really like insane human feat. But it wouldn't be an insane human feat if you were like driving in a car for the run and bike portion and then riding in a motorboat for the swim portion. Like, and
And then
that's
bragging about it on Threads. I finished the marathon in 0.5 seconds with this car.
my Porsche. Because obviously, with how much anti AI content I post as like a systems person, gets so much of the like, well, it just makes art more accessible, and now I can do things that I couldn't do before. And I understand that thought process in theory, except that you're not creating something. Like, I type stuff into a computer all day too, but like, that's not art and creativity most of the time. And it's just like, I want to see what you create, even if it's bad. And Christy and I talked about this from Christy Johnson Creative, talked about this on our episode where we were just like, no, I'd rather just see you make bad art. And I think we're
Yeah.
coming to an era where like more and more people are wanting that. I even saw yesterday, like a county here in Minnesota where I live is having their county fair, and they had just like a legal pad sheet of paper with like our county fair is coming up, and hand drew like little cartoon cows and
Amazing.
like come to us, we didn't use AI for this. And I was like, what a low budget like cheeky idea where they literally just took one of their employees and wrote 6 pages on a legal pad in Sharpie. And like it got such a huge response because that's what we want. We're like, stop giving me the same flyer that I've seen
Yes.
100 times. It's not impressive that AI can create this.
It's not. Guys, the AI flyers are so bad. I'm so
They're
confused.
blurry,
Do you
and
know
they're hard
which
to
one
read,
gets me?
and they
Is the
all look the
restaurant.
same.
The restaurant ones send me sideways because I'm like, y'all, you're making the food. Just take a photo of the food. Like, why are you generating images of the food that you
Yes.
make? I was just on like a little weekend getaway with my mom, and I saw this. There was like this giant one in front of a restaurant that was meant to be like shrimp. And I was like, "Girl, what is that animal?" Because it's not a shrimp, or like the head was a shrimp and then the tail became something really weird. And I
And
was
you're
so
like, I don't think
confused.
that's safe to eat. I think that
That's
contains the parasite.
Don't eat this. It didn't even look appetizing. I don't know what's going on. I feel I feel upset. It makes me feel upset because there's such a push now for people to use AI, and the people that are doing this push are not people that have good intentions. Nobody
No.
that's doing an AI push is going, "Hey guys, so we're going to do this AI push because of accessibility. Like AI is really going to make things more accessible for other people." Please, let's not pretend like that's a fucking reality.
Panodyme, he posts something crazy an AI CEO says every single day. And I always just tell people that if you want to become anti AI, just follow him and you will be like immediately unsettled by what the creators of this technology, like what their intentions are with the technology, and how they're like, well, we don't really need humanity to survive. Like, it
I
doesn't
need
really matter if humans survive or have purpose or work or do anything. And like, yeah, like almost all of them have said, and there is a metric that all AI researchers, including within the companies themselves, use called P Doom. That's the percent likeliness that it will cause a mass extinction event in the next 100 years. And it's like there's uncertainty whether it ranges from like 10 to 90%, but I'm like, even 10%,
Even 10%.
like, I'm like, if you put out a car, if you're a car manufacturer and you put out a car and you said, hey, everyone should buy this car, there's a 10% chance that it will kill everyone you know, and wipe out
Everyone.
our entire species, but definitely buy it because you need it. Like,
Oh my
that
God.
would be insane and absolutely crazy. And that is what this technology is.
Oh my gosh. I know.
But
But,
what gives me
but, yes, there's a but.
we're already seeing on like a big scale, on the corporate scale, corporations that were like super heavy into AI buying into this technology, forcing all of their employees to use it, starting to realize that, oh wait, it's more expensive for me to pay AI to do bad work than to pay humans to do good work, because also LLM outputs are wrong 40 to 60% of the time. So they're not super reliable.
No. And they don't know what shrimp
And
look like.
they don't know what shrimp looks like. They don't know how to count to 5. They don't
No.
know how many R's are in the word strawberry. So, like, they're not reliable, and companies are starting to realize that because they've had enough time in the technology now.
Yeah.
And then, like we're saying, there's a major public kind of outcry and push back against the technology and against data
Yeah.
centers. You know, there's a lot of political polarization everywhere in the world right now, but in the US, it's like the only bipartisan issue is data center construction,
Yeah.
because it's impacting farming and it's impacting cities and the left, who are concerned about the environment from just a societal impact perspective. And so I think there's a lot of hope because we are seeing some of that pushback already working, at least here in the States, where like data center legislation is being passed to prevent some of these things from going through and to protect people. That to me is what gives me the hope that there is kind of this second renaissance coming, is like, no, we actually care that humanity remains. We actually care that we still exist and do things and provide value and live lives that are enjoyable and worth living.
Yeah. I think I super agree with you, and I'll take it even maybe one step further. I feel like, oh my gosh, this is gonna sound so like conspiracy theorist. It's not like a real conspiracy and not something I believe in. It's more like a conceptual thought process for us to go through together.
Yeah.
But under capitalism, right? Ideally, we would all just be AI. That's the
Mhm.
goal of capitalism, is to transform us into a receptacle for prompts so we
A
can
cog in the
fast,
wheel
yeah, just
with
fast
no pushback.
output, no pushback. Here it is. And I'm seeing this chat with a lot of my friends who are still employed, that the longer we go on with AI existing, the more they're getting treated like AI bots by their managers or their bosses or by someone on top of them in the creative chain. Like, we've forgotten that humans, especially creatives, but humans in general, need time to develop their ideas, need time to seek out inspirations, to do
Mhm.
experiments, to do research, to sketch things out. It's like, okay, no, can you just make this into a 1920s theme in 7 seconds and then submit it back again? You're like, oh, okay. So I feel like we're in this apocalyptic, like, surreal end of capitalism, and I think that goes hand in hand with value for humanity, for the human touch to come back, which I think that's why creativity is so important to me in this
Mhm.
equation, because I feel like our creativity, our creative process, our connection to play, to imagination, that's what makes us humans. That's what is our humanity, is intrinsically connected to creativity, to imagination, not just like, creativity as an art, but also creative problem solving, right? An
Mhm.
ability, imagination, not to just imagine, fun polka dotted green elephants, but also to imagine like a possible future, to imagine what structures could look like, what systems could look like, what we could do as individuals who run businesses in a capitalistic society. So I think it goes farther than pretty art. Capitalism hand in hand with AI is cutting us off from this. And going back to why this renaissance is happening, why an analog renaissance in specific, why we're seeing this rise of in-person events, why theater's having a comeback moment, why people are, seeking inspiration outside, is because just like AI, like we run on a bank of information, like we are humans. So we need to go experience things. Otherwise, we're doing the human centipede where we're all just eating and regurgitating the same crap into each other's mouths ad
Yes.
nauseum until the end.
Want to talk about community more with you because we've like touched on like in-person events, in-person community, and the importance of that. So I work fully from home. One thing that I get told all the time, or people are like, it's crazy how many social events you go to or how many like things that you attend, or you're so busy. Like I am so busy with work, but I will like rip myself out of my cave to go out to a social event, even if I'm tired, even if I'm doing whatever. And people are like, it's crazy that you do that. And I'm like, no, I would go crazy if I did it. Like humans are social creatures.
Yeah.
And the way that if I stayed home and I went down to my couch and I turned on the TV and I just relaxed every night, like some nights that's great. But if I did that every night, I would just become a shell of myself, because we need people and we need interaction with people. And it's not about being introverted or extroverted. Like we
No.
are all social beings and we all need that. I think that for me, what I'm seeing with, unfortunately, especially in corporate America, is people feeling so discarded at their day jobs that if they aren't finding that in-person community, it's even more depressing and isolating, because you're just kind of like, I don't have energy at the end of the day, and I go home and I just feel the weight of the heaviness of all of it. But if you do have community, that we're leaning on that more and being more involved in that, because it's a way to cope and it's a way to understand each other and be able to talk about it, which is so valuable. We all need that.
Yeah. I feel like we need, if everyone's third space was like an in-person third space, that would be amazing.
Ideal.
And this is from someone who's like third space for the past 5 to 6 years has been digital, has
Yeah.
literally just been gaming, which is great. Like I game with other people, I have a community, we game together, we like what we had like a meeting, so we all met up and spent a week, which was super lovely and wholesome. But that was like 2 days that we saw each other in person, as opposed to the been gaming for 5 years. And I don't know why. I don't know the sequence of events of why I stayed away, but I'm a theater person. I did my bachelor's, my master's in theater. I worked as a theater maker. I was teaching high school theater. COVID happened, and then theater was gone, and I started doing odd jobs online to get by, which led me to something, led me to the next thing. And then one day I woke up and I had literally worked myself up to like creative director of
And you're like, how did we get
corporate.
here?
Like, how did we get here? And I haven't stepped foot in a theater in 6 years, which is crazy. I think there's some kind of like psychological block that I had because I didn't even think like about it. I'm unpacking this now. And so I had a really great one-on-one session. Well, I had several one-on-one sessions that led to this happening, but I booked a week-long theater intensive workshop here in Barcelona with a group that I had been admiring since I moved here like 5 years ago. And I kid you not even 10 minutes in, like 5 minutes into this workshop starting, I literally woke up. I was like, where the fuck have I been for 6 years? What have I been doing? Why haven't I been here? I was having like a crisis of like, why haven't I, like, what have I been doing? Like, this is what I love. Like, this is my life. Like, this is everything I know is because of these spaces, is because of these people. And so I'm going through a crisis right now, but like a really productive crisis where I'm being very intentional about spending my time in person and building towards more in-person things. So third spaces, your third space needs to be somewhere that's in person. That's where I'm getting to, because it's like you said, we are social creatures. We're humans. We come from tribes. We come from villages. We come from living together. And yeah, we're super isolated right now. Super. Especially as people that like work online and run businesses
Mhm.
online. Like, I'm the extreme of this. I'm used to being literally in the theater with real people, like playing. It's like this ultimate end of this one spectrum. And now I'm sat in front of the screen sometimes like 12
Mhm.
to 14 hours a day. Not Sometimes I don't even speak to another person besides my
Right.
husband for days on end.
Mhm.
And it's so taxing. It's so isolating. It's so sad. It's I don't think it's the way for us.
Yeah, and I think that people are waking up to that in their own way, right? Having their own kind of personal renaissance in that way. I'm actually having her on the podcast later this year, but one of the knitters that I follow left her 6-figure corporate job to pursue knitting pattern design full time and has replaced
Amazing.
her income. And to me, I'm like, that is not only like awesome for her, so excited, what a validation of her decision, but
Yeah.
also a validation that people want the analog experience and
Yes.
the experience of buying from somebody that they want to support or feel like they know. Obviously she's also a content creator, that's how I found her, but they want that experience of like, I started knitting exclusively because I was like, I need to stop double screening in front of the TV. Like, what if I just put something else in my hands?
Fair.
um,
100%.
and I think that more people are finding that version for themselves and craving that. And we're seeing a rise of these like new small business owners who are leaving that corporate sector where they feel
Hmm.
discarded, and they're like, but I know I have something to offer that people want. I mean, that's my own experience too, is like, okay, well, I know what I like to do, and I know that I want to work with small business owners. I work almost exclusively with creatives. I work a lot in the wedding industry space. And I'm like, these people are fun and they appreciate my work, and great. Like, match made in heaven. And now when I do my work, I get to engage with people that I really enjoy engaging with. And all of my clients are super cool. And a lot of them become or start as friends. And what
Yeah.
a rewarding experience that you don't get in corporate because you're
Absolutely.
just a number.
No, you're just trauma bonding in corporate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the same experience with, I think, the nature also of the work that I do, and because it's informed, I guess, by these theater practices, which are very they're very deep. I think surface level, my work looks, it's very silly, it's very playful. I have wigs and like, googly eyes on my face. But the work itself is very deep, especially the work that I do with clients and the routes that we take to get to these realizations. Like, I think theater is a beautiful total art. Like, everything goes into theater, whether it's text, visuals, lights, painting of set designs, costume, acting, sound design, like it's everything in a live studio audience. And you can't be superficial when there's so much involved. And so the relationship that I end up having, like, I'm basically friends with all of my clients now, or we're like
Hmm.
very, very good friends. And I hate seeing this rhetoric of online of like, you shouldn't be friends with your clients. Like, these are not your friends. These are your clients. And I'm like, girl, we're actual friends now.
What a great experience to be friends with the people that you work with. If we all have to make money because we all live in a capitalistic society, I want to work with people who I enjoy spending time with.
Yeah.
And we get to do that as business owners if we're willing to show up as who we are, and then those people find us and they're like, "Yep, you're my people."
Yeah.
And let's hang out, let's work together. I think there's also a really false narrative in my experience of people saying, "Well, your friends will undercut you. They won't pay you, they won't whatever." And I was like, "You have bad friends cuz my friends value my work." Like I was like, "I'm paying my friends are paying me. We're figuring out trades if that makes sense for both of us."
Yeah.
And I think it doesn't have to be an either or. Like, I don't think that your friends are trying to exploit you all the time. In fact, I think that they're mostly not if they're good friends. Most of my experience has been that if I am friends with somebody, they may be like, "Hey, I can't afford you right now, but I really want to work with you, and I will let you
Yeah.
know when I can."
Yeah. I've had that happen so many times over this past year of people just letting me know, like, listen, I just want to let you know that I really want to work with you and like I'm gonna get there. Do you know the feeling as like a business owner to know that someone is saving up to work with you is, oh my
Amazing.
gosh, like what an honor. Honestly, it's such an
Mhm.
honor that like you think that I'm worth you saving up for is so amazing, especially as like I don't know, I had a rough like childhood and teenage years. So like my perception of my own self-worth is we're working on it. We're getting better. It's getting there, but like I'm starting from like a really bad place. Starting from crap. So this notion that someone's like, I think your work is super cool and I'm gonna save up because I want to work with you, to me is like, wow, like the highest praise. And I'm
The
so lucky
highest
that I get to, yeah, I'm so lucky that I get to work with people like that. To be fair, I don't work with friends, but we'll become friends after we've worked together.
Oh, yeah.
And then I think I've actually had some bad experiences working with friends, but it's not because they undercut me. It's just because the boundaries between like
Are blurry.
I feel like reviews. Friends are really bad with reviews, especially if they don't do this very often. I'm like, girl, no, you get it's 2 rounds of feedback. We're on round 17. We're not gonna do this one anymore.
Yeah. We spend so much of our life working. I left corporate because I don't want to work with people that don't respect my work or
Yeah,
perspective.
yeah, your
Or
values, what you stand for. Yeah.
what has your journey been like as you are kind of, you've been talking about this more and more online, of coming into that authentic version of yourself and letting people see you in that?
I feel like I have always had a problem with how to present myself. I think very consistently for different reasons throughout different phases of life. I had to figure out what was the safest way to present.
Mhm.
Circling back, surprise, surprise, to no one. Theater saved me from that. Theater was the first place where I could discover who I was in a safe way, embody what I was discovering safely, experiment without judgment, without shame, without having to like be something fixed, without having to have a fixed identity that now I have to stick to because this is my identity and this is who I am and this is my authenticity. Theater saved me from that. Theater saved me from a lot. Okay. Hashtag theater. Hashtag go take a fucking theater class if you haven't. Go sign up for community theater. It will change your life. But I think that's a really big part of the work that I do. And especially now I'm going through an intentional, slow but intentional pivot because I've discovered that's what at the core of my work with people, and that's what I want to do is this creative liberation, and I want people to have the same experience that I have had, where my authenticity is not fixed. It's not a fixed thing. It's not a picture. It's not a snapshot. It changes every day. My authenticity is whatever I want to do in the moment that's going to make my body and my mind feel good, and I'm aligned with
Mhm.
that, that's what my authenticity is. And as a theater kid, my authenticity is performance. I love performing. Like, one of my values as words hurt is entertainment. I think entertainment is such a noble art, to make something for, to present something for other people, to want to lift people's spirits, to make one want people to feel good. I've always done that as a kid. You know, I always used to put on shows for family and like get my grandma wrap some bags around her head, like just as a hat, not not suffocation, and like get
Not supporting grandma, just to clarify.
just to confirm, no grandmas were harmed in the making of these shows. But like, I used to get the family involved. Like, so that's always been a part of me. The reason I left corporate, the reason I started Words Hurt, is because I wanted more from my profession. I don't subscribe to like, this is work, this is life. I think we all have a purpose, and I think that business, or the way that, you know, how we are of service to the world, is connected to our identity, who we are, and what our purpose is. So to me, yes, they have different spaces, but one should support the other. And for me, my business is a tool of self-expression, of self-discovery, of pushing the boundaries of what creativity can mean. Because I started Words Hurt because I was sick of my superior creatives telling me, this is too much, like, this is, we can't do this, or like, this is a bad idea, or not even pitching my idea to the bigger team because they were like, no, 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 this is, they're not gonna like this. So I was like, you know what, fuck that, I'm gonna do my own ideas. And that's like, that was the premise of why I started. And
Mhm.
it's been such a transformative journey. Like, oh my gosh, being a solo business owner is not for the faint of heart. It's such a difficult experience, but transformative. Like, it really has been. Like, I think these have been maybe the best years personally, um of my life, from someone who's like, you know, has really bad anxiety, PTSD, depression. My business has helped me in so many ways, besides, you know, the obvious financial. And I want to work with people who have that same connection to their business, whose business is an extension of their identity, or is a tool for them to exercise some kind of purpose or some kind of service that they have outside of this capitalistic nature of, yes, we just want to make money. Going back to AI, is like, why are people using an AI? It's for capitalism, because they want to do something faster. It's because they want to save themselves a task. It's because they want to not pay for, you know, a whole other person to come do this.
More productive.
Yes, there's a very small percentage of people who use AI and is helpful because, for accessibility reasons, yes, exists, but that's not the majority.
Mm-mm.
And we're quickly coming away from that, I think. I hope.
Yeah.
Again, I see it happening day by day. I see this, the AI bubble popping, and you know,
Mhm.
the big AI monster more than ever getting more desperate. But we
So
have AI.
desperate.
But have you seen this new feature? Surprise! One more, and everyone's like,
Have you seen this
"Girl,
new
we don't want
horrifying
this."
thing that we could do?
Have you? Yeah, exactly.
What
I'm
if we made
so.
it worse?
What? What if we made it so much worse, but we did it with your mom's voice? What if we used your mom's voice for this in an AI way? Could you imagine? This is some Black Mirror shit. Like, no,
It
I don't
really
want to.
is. No, I feel like lately something I've been experiencing in business, because like you touched on, running a business is like throwing yourself in the fire of self-exploration,
Yeah,
because it's such a mirror in the way that like a close relationship is a mirror, in the way that so many things are, but like you don't have any other choice but to discover who you are and what you want, and you won't
yeah,
survive as a business if you don't do those things.
yeah.
And it's so fascinating to me because I never knew what I wanted to do when I grew up. Yeah, I never felt like, oh, I don't have like a purpose, or I don't know what I want to do. And I've always had a lot of career anxiety around that because, like you
Mm,
said, I don't think that I fit into a box. Like, I love a lot of things. I'm very creative, but I'm very technical, and that's why I do what I do now. But it was such a winding path to get to where I am, being a technical person for creatives, because this box didn't exist. And that's, I think, a lot of entrepreneurs, like it sounds like both of us did, start your own business because you're like, well, there's not a box that exists for me, so I'm going to have to build it. And
Exactly that.
the only choice you have is to try and fail and discover and be like, oh, this is my, especially as someone with ADHD, this is my whole new personality. And then being like, oh, wait, actually, I hated that. And then trying again, or being so excited for launch and then being like, no one else was excited for that. Cool. Okay.
Just me.
And so you have to. It's a transformative experience because there's no other way to do
There's
business.
no, yeah. Yes, you're so right. It's intense shadow work. Like, business is intense shadow work. You're
Yeah.
going to meet the good, the bad, the ugly, the fun, the whimsical. Like, there's so
And
much in there.
I don't know if you've been feeling this lately, because the energy in the world is bad.
Bad.
Everything's off.
Everything's off. Yep.
But like, I love my work and my clients so much that I've been feeling so much of a like extremes version of the emotional roller coaster of the good and the bad and the ugly is like so much more extreme everywhere, or it's like extreme bad days or extreme bad feelings or feelings of existential dread, and then extreme like, oh my god, I love what I do and I love what I'm building and I love the people I get to work with. I'm so energized by getting to meet new clients, engage with my community. I'm really close with like my neighbors in my neighborhood, and
Nice.
like I've intentionally built a really strong community here in Minnesota, which took a lot of work and a lot of time and a lot of putting myself out there
Gonna
and
put myself out there. Yep.
possibility of being rejected.
Yep.
But
Frightening.
now I'm like, oh, wait, but now it's the culmination. I went from always being afraid to throw a birthday party and have no one show up to having to last year rent a venue for my Friendsgiving because everyone wasn't going to be able to fit into my home.
Amazing.
So there's so many good things and so many bad things happening at once in my brain that I feel like sometimes I'm just like, am I going to explode today? Maybe.
Maybe. It could be any day.
TBD.
Yeah. It's literally that. I think I share this feeling as well. There's so much tragedy and like so much tragedy that I'm like directly connected to as well, that it's so hard to it's difficult to show up a lot of the time. I don't know. I feel like I have to do it. I almost feel like, again, going back to like that value of entertainment and what I believe my purpose to be, I feel like that's part of my purpose, is showing up this way, especially when the world is falling apart. Because if I can help in raising people's capacity for imagination and creativity, then maybe we can imagine a way out of this and create a better place for us to exist in together. You know, and somebody else does the harder parts. You know, we all have our roles.
We all play our role. Yes, running a business is a lot of work and it's hard and it can be really taxing, but also if you build a business that you love and do something that you feel a lot of purpose in or passion in or creativity and joy, and you're creating and doing things that are bringing other people joy, bringing yourself joy, it can also be such a way for us to cope with those things of like, okay, well, now I have new friends because I have awesome clients. And now I have, I've done these things. I put myself out there. I went to this event, even though I was tired and have been working 14-hour days for the last 2 weeks. But it's also the way to cope with all of the other shit that we don't have a lot of control over.
Yeah. Humans need other humans. Surprise, surprise.
Who would have guessed?
Who would have guessed that we are not meant to be sat in front of these little screens by our damn selves forever?
Yes.
Bring back the Renaissance. We're ready
Bring
for
back
it.
the Renaissance.
We're ready.
I always like to end our sessions in the same way, giving you a soapbox. What's your humanity hot take?
Oh my gosh. My hot take is it's literally this. This is my hot take. You need your third space has to be an in-person space. Get the fuck off your couch, get off your phone, and go meet a group of people and engage in a collective activity. If you're a sports person, I don't know why you'd be listening to me on this podcast. So go read this. Go have a reading party. Sit down and read somewhere.
Yes.
Make an iced tea and
A
sit with your
book
friends.
club.
Join a book club. Go to crochet knitting nights. Join the
Yes.
theater. Go take an improv. They have improv classes like everywhere in every city of the world, and they're like 2 hours long, or a weekend or a week. You can commit for as long. You're gonna have so much fun. Trust me. Go to that. Go to a quiz night. Go to quiz night at pubs. I love quiz night. I love a quiz night. Go to karaoke.
Yes.
Go to the park. Go people watching the park. Just go touch consensually another person. Make consensual skin to skin contact with another human being. Just go integrate yourselves into a real group of people, a real community, and watch the ripples of benefits flow into your lives. Meanwhile, there's probably been 5 new AI updates since we started recording this podcast together.
100%. Couldn't agree more. Go be with people. Talk to them. Risk not liking them or them not liking you. The worst that can happen, well, not the worst that can happen, but most of the time the worst that will happen is that it's a little bit awkward. And that's also good for you.
Yeah. Character building.
Character building, social skills building, which we're all losing with AI, and living in discomfort, which is a valuable skill as well.
Well put. Good. Great ending.
Be more uncomfortable. The end.
Yeah. Stop being comfortable, you know? But that's great advice. It's true. We're too comfortable to live, and life isn't comfort. Real life is discomfort. It's hard. But like in a fun way, you know? Like adventures aren't comfortable. They're thrilling. They're exciting. Nobody's ever like, oh, I'm really relaxed in this adventure, you know, on my couch. No.
Get out there.
Get out
Make
there.
some friends.
Make some friends. Make some real human people friends.
Speaking of making friends, Cal, thank you for being here. Where can people find you so that they can become your friend as well?
You can find me on Instagram or Threads at wordshurt.copy, and you can find me probably in a theater near you sometime. If you look hard enough, I might be there, but you have to come out of your house and you have to look, and you have to make sure if I'm there or not.
Only one way to find out.
Thank you so much for having me. This is so much fun.
Thanks so much for listening. I'm your host, Gail Fraser, and for more information about Where's Your Humanity, you can check out at Where's Your Humanity Pod on Instagram. And for more information about me and the work that I do, you can go to my website, worksimple.io, which is also my Instagram and Threads handle. Our lovely theme music is brought to you by Emily Bjorky, and you can go check out her album, Are You Going to Heaven or Hell, anywhere you listen to music. Thanks for being here, and I'll talk to you later.